stick with me on this one. I have some points that I want to make, but there are some disclaimers that I both want and need to say at the beginning. There was an attack earlier today. Today, it's 9:30 p.m. West Coast time on Sunday, June 1st, 2025. There was a heinous attack earlier today in Boulder, Colorado, where 6 people were injured. 6 people who were protesting peacefully, exercising their constitutional rights to do so in support of Israeli hostages who are still being held inside the Gaza Strip by Hamas. The attacker who set a bunch of people on fire and injured 6 people, 6 people between the ages of 67 to 88 years old. That is absolutely fucking horrific. Again, stick with me on this, please. His name is Mohammed Sabri Soliman. Apparently he is an Egyptian national, and he engaged in this attack in Boulder, Colorado, and yelled "Free Palestine" while he engaged in this attack on these innocent civilians. And I think we can all agree that there is nothing more heinous than a deadly attack on innocent civilians. We can all agree on that, right? Good. All right. Thank you. So I was watching MSNBC for the last 30 or 40 minutes. Well, it's been on throughout the course of the day. And I had it on CNN, I had it on Fox, I had it on some other channels. And this attack on a peaceful, constitutionally protected protest in Boulder, Colorado, where thankfully, no one was killed. But it's garnering round-the-clock coverage. I saw a legal expert on MSNBC that alluded to possibly this person used Molotov cocktails, and that could garner, just that by itself could garner 6 to 8 federal criminal charges. But apparently using 1,000-pound or 2,000-pound bunker buster bombs manufactured and supplied by the United States of America, dropping those kinds of bombs on an elementary school full of elementary school aged children and their teachers, apparently that does not garner any federal charges whatsoever. Oh, wait, hang on. Oh, that was inside the Gaza Strip. My bad. Never mind. Which reminds me of the second disclaimer that I need to make, and that I actually do want to make. I'm not saying this because I have to. I'm saying this because I want to. Hamas is a terrorist organization that deserves to be completely fucking wiped off the face of this planet. What Hamas did on October 7th, 2023 to Israeli civilians was a terrorist attack. There is no justification for that. Hamas is not fucking freedom fighters. They engaged in physical violence, murder, sexual violence against civilians, men, women, and children. There is no excuse for that, period. The response to that attack by the Israeli military and the Israeli government and Benjamin Netanyahu and the United States, which has resulted in the wholesale slaughter of tens of thousands of Palestinians, I'm going to use this word again, civilians. Tell me the difference between the two. One is state sanctioned by a government, 2 governments, and one is not. Is that the only difference? 6 to 8 federal charges for a Molotov cocktail, 0 federal charges for dropping a 2,000-pound bunker buster bomb on an elementary school full of elementary school children and their teachers. The Colorado attack, I saw another legal expert say that it could very well bring hate crime sentencing enhancements. I wonder what hate crime sentencing enhancements would be involved in dropping multiple bombs and missiles on the home of a surgeon, killing their entire family, 4 generations, including 9 of their children. None? No sentencing enhancement? Oh, because that happened inside the Gaza Strip? Oh, well, shit. Yeah, cross that one off too. Fucking hell. Then I stuck around long enough. After that fetid fountain of fecal matter from Chris Jansen on MSNBC, just slobbing on that knob, that Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, my fucking God. I stuck around long enough to watch her interview with Jonathan Greenblatt of the Anti-Defamation League, who very famously, a couple of months after the October 7th attack in 2023, said, we have a TikTok problem. We have a generational problem. We have a TikTok problem. And basically said, we need to get rid of TikTok. So he came on and said that these people were protesting peacefully. That's true. And that they were attacked just because they were Jewish. Could somebody please remind me why the civilians inside the Gaza Strip are being slaughtered by the tens of thousands? They're not Jewish. I just thought that was interesting. Then he said that anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism are the same thing, and that criticism of Israel and its government, its military, is hate. And then he said it starts with words. Demonizing a group of people leads to horrific consequences. I would highly recommend that he watch the recent BBC documentary titled The Settlers and talk to me more. After he has watched that movie, I would very much appreciate if he would speak to me in greater depth and detail about the harmful consequences of words. And then he closed out the interview by saying that Jews should not have to live like this. I agree that Jews should never, anywhere on this planet, be persecuted for their Judaism. They should never, ever be persecuted for their religion or for their identity. Now, I would challenge Jonathan Greenblatt to say the same fucking thing about Palestinians. I have a hunch. I have a small hunch. I don't know this for certain, but I have a small hunch that he would respond to that challenge by saying that there's no such thing as Palestinians or Palestine. If he has a different response to that, I would challenge him to provide that for me. He said, criticism of Israel anywhere is hate everywhere. It starts with words. What are Jonathan Greenblatt's words about Palestine and the Palestinians and Palestinian civilians inside the Gaza Strip? Palestinian women, and children, and babies, and toddlers inside the Gaza Strip. Civilians. Does he believe that they are civilians? Does he believe that their lives need to be preserved or protected? Does he believe that they are terrorists, that they are members of Hamas? Excuse me. Does he believe that a Palestinian kindergartner is a supporter of Hamas and a supporter of terrorism and anti-Semitic? Does he believe that about the 4, 3, 2, 1-year-old babies, Palestinian civilian babies who have been absolutely slaughtered by the Israeli government and the Israeli military. Does he believe that teenagers and the elderly living inside the Gaza Strip are terrorists? Does he believe that they deserve to be murdered by the Israeli military? Does he believe that their lives need to be protected and preserved? Does he believe that young people all around the planet, all around the globe, having access to TikTok, which they use to criticize this Israeli military and this Israeli government, does he believe that that needs to be eradicated by government action? Does he believe that any criticism of this Israeli government under Benjamin Netanyahu, I find it incredibly appropriate that the last two syllables of his name are fucking Yahoo. I mean, according to reports from Israeli news organizations, Benjamin Netanyahu doesn't give two fucks about the hostages. He is keeping this conflict and this wholesale slaughter of Palestinian civilians, elderly, women, children, babies, toddlers, in order to stay in power so he can stay out of prison. What does that have to do with Judaism itself? What does that have to do with the Jewish religion? What does that have to do with whether or not there should be an Israeli state? Can they really not see what they've become? Maybe they can't. I don't know. Can they really not see what they've become? I mean, I would simply say this to Jonathan Greenblatt, it's like you got, here's the ironic thing here. You got your TikTok ban. That legislation was dead before October 7th, 2023. A Republican member of Congress said exactly that. And then October 7th, 2023 happened. And I condemn what Hamas did on that date. And then you got to revive your TikTok ban. And it passed. And then Donald Trump got reelected and said, who gives a fuck about the TikTok ban? Because TikTok was good to Donald Trump. And so he's going to keep TikTok. Fortunately, the Chinese have done the censorship that you wanted in the first place. I don't see any fucking videos outside the Gaza Strip anymore. I have to go to other websites for them. And when I go to those other websites, I see them. And so it's like, I would simply close out my video by saying this. It's like Jonathan Greenblatt of the Anti-Defamation League. You have enough control, you and AIPAC have enough control over the United States government and the White House and our Secretary of State and our Department of Homeland Security that you can direct them to target college students from other countries. I haven't seen you target any college students from this country. But I'm a 57-year-old trial attorney, licensed and practicing for 26 years. And I was born in Ohio. My citizenship status is above reproach, and there's nothing that you can do about that. And there's nothing that you can do about me exercising my First Amendment rights to say all the things that I have said in this video. And I'm self-employed. and I don't have a boss. And you can't dox me or cancel me. So I would invite you to respond to my question. And my question is this. Again, condemning the Boulder, Colorado attacker, condemning Hamas, condemning what they did on October 7th, 2023, and condemning how the Israeli government has treated Palestinians for the last 100 years. Why isn't the media covering what the Israeli military has done inside the Gaza Strip since January 1st of this year, the same way they're covering this attack that happened today that has garnered round-the-clock, nonstop coverage? That attack, which I condemn. The wholesale slaughter of women and children inside the Gaza Strip, which I condemn, which you support. What's the difference? Except for the fact that there were no fatalities in Boulder, Colorado. Thank God. What you said on MSNBC tonight was shameful, taken in context of the last 20 months. What you said tonight on MSNBC was shameful.